All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another Winging It podcast with our one of our new members, Jack. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Trying to see if I'm going to be interested in doing this video editing stuff as far as like actually shooting film and then coming and editing it without like because I'm trying to wing it like I do everything else. But that might not be a good idea. I might have to start getting into doing storyboards because this is
Winging
difficult.
it, winging it, branding, winging it, branding, winging it. All right, so yeah, so people, we're gonna be adding Jack and Shadow Fox. Shadow Fox couldn't make it tonight; he has some family stuff to take care of. It is the holiday season. I completely understand that. Andre's a little busy right now. As soon as he's available, we're gonna get him in here as well. So it's just gonna be us two for right now. But
Cool.
probably in January, once everything gets settled down, it's gonna be the four of us from now on. So hope you guys are ready for that. Now,
Perfect.
so uh, before we get to the Game Awards, and that hilarity, we just wanted to. I wanted to take a little time this podcast to actually talk a little bit about the stuff that was going on with the free melee and the Joy-Con etiquette situation because this is the problem that I see. Whereas some social media can be very good, I think some social media is very bad, and that's people jumping the gun, not knowing all the information, jumping on a movement or whatever,
Yep.
and when the true information comes out, now you're looking a certain kind of way because you know you overreacted.
Yep.
Um, One very good example was and I probably shouldn't bring this up, but I am because it's a very good example of people overreacting. And then when the truth came out, everybody was quiet as a hooker in church, and that was the whole that was the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation where
Oh yeah.
people they wanted him gone, they wanted him
Yeah.
canceled, and then when they heard that audio clip
Yeah.
9-10 months later, and they found out the situation wasn't what they thought it was.
Nobody said nothing. Quiet. Like nobody canceled her. Johnny Depp disappeared off the face of the earth behind that.
Yeah, and when you heard those three clips, and I'm like, one of them, she knew she was being recorded,
Yeah, she already knew.
so she ain't give up. so so
Bold about it. She even said in the clips like they're gonna be on my side anyway.
yeah, so that's why I think sometimes as people we need to be very cautious of how our emotions are. Sometimes you just need to wait and see because with the free melee situation, um, they did talk to that group. They asked him not to use Slippy because Slippy was illegal.
Yeah.
Dude was gonna use it anyway. And like I said last week, it ain't yo IP. So once again, you can say free melee, say smash all you want to, but the
Right.
fact of the matter is, it ain't yo IP. So Nintendo
Right.
can do whatever they want to. Your argument, no matter what argument you want to make, is invalid because it's not your IP. Now, if you paid for the IP, that's different.
Right.
But like I said last week, I challenge anybody. You make something. You create some of your blood, sweat, and tears, your sacrifices you had to make, and let somebody come in and say, "I'm a fan of yours. I'm gonna take yours and make some money off of it, and see if you not do something about it."
Right.
I'll wait.
Exactly. And kind of like what I was saying with Shadow earlier today on Twitter. He had posted something similar to it. And I'm like, you know how it goes. People, we're in this age to where there's no accountability. Everybody thinks just because something's old, they can just they can just use it for free now. It's just like, okay, well, cool. They're on to, something different. We can just continue to mess with Melee and do what we want to do with it. Like, nah. And then, like you said, the simple fact that they had one stipulation, one tweak, like, that's all you got to do, and you can continue doing what you want to do. And they was like, nah. That let me know you ain't trying to do it. You
Yeah,
trying to make sure everything is your way.
like you can find. There's always. That's why you always have to have a contingency plan.
Yeah.
Every time you plan for something, you should have a backup plan. If
Right.
something doesn't work or something has to be changed, people don't do that. The Joy-Con situation with Etika, I do not blame Nintendo for doing that.
No.
And then you come to find out, um, money wasn't going to the family,
Right.
but dude is saying that that's what it's for.
Right. Here's my main thing, right? With that particular situation. Okay, I know a handful of people that make custom Joy-Con shells,
Yeah,
right? And they charge for them. They do the same thing with the Pro controllers, any other controller, right?
yeah, yeah,
The difference is they're one, not doing it for charity, but then two, they're not on Front Street about it. That's the
yeah.
one thing I tell anybody. If you're gonna do something illegal,
Shut
don't
up.
expose it. Like, it's stupid. Like, why are you on Front Street about everything you do? It's the same thing when you start talking about music. If you're going to go out your way to tell the cops on your music, yeah, I shot dude. Yeah, I robbed the spot. You can't be mad when they come and arrest you based off of your music. You can't do that. Like, it's
Yeah,
stupid. So even with this, even if he, even though he's completely in the wrong for this entire situation, if you were going to do it like on the back end with the people that you know are fans and do it that way, even though I don't feel like he was doing this for the fans. I think he
no,
was
he
just doing this
was.
for a quick cash grab. But let's
Yeah,
say that he did have the right intentions. Like, you reach out to the right people behind that. Like, you say, okay, well, who wants them? You don't put it out there like, hey, this is what I'm doing for Etika. Everybody support me. Nah, that's not how
nah.
you do it.
Well, if he really wanted to do it the right way, he would have reached out to Nintendo
That
and be
too.
like, look, Nintendo, I want to do this. I would like to make Joy-Con shells, and because Nintendo knew who Etika was, he
Yeah.
was that they knew who he was.
Right.
So it's not like they didn't know. So I would have reached if it was me doing it, I would have reached out to them and like, look, this money ain't coming to me,
Right.
and I look, it ain't coming to me. It's gonna go to his family and the charity for mental health. It's not coming to
Right.
me. And I don't think Nintendo would have had a problem with him doing that. I
No.
don't think they would have. They probably would have
No.
been like, okay, look, we probably got to get our nominal 5% or our nominal fee.
Right.
Only fair because you're gonna have to use their logo to put
Right.
Joy-Con boys on it. You got to use their logo.
Right.
So, hey, it's trademark. It is what it
Yep.
is. So, do it that way. But to do that and then everybody jumping on it, and then when stuff started trickling out, more and more truths come out. Now you're looking stupid because just take your time, breathe, and research. We're in the information age. It is not that
Mm-hmm.
hard to find
It's not.
out the truth of situations. So I'm like, I don't really know what to tell you. And the other thing that killed Free Melee and Save Smash is Sephiroth. So
Yes.
the first thing
Yes.
that they did, the Game Awards did, when it went to the live, I'm not gonna talk about the pre-show. I ain't doing that. But 45 minutes for a damn pre-show.
Hey.
I'm just not talking about it. The pre-show pissed me off. But the first thing they showed was Sephiroth, the actual trailer for Sephiroth in Smash. They showed that out first. Now that kind of set the tone because I'm like, this show's probably gonna be bad.
Yeah, of course. You putting this up front?
Up
Yeah.
front.
Garbage. I already know what's
Okay.
up.
Okay. But to be honest, that trailer was awesome, and we're going to talk about it right now. Now I did do a Let's Talk About That on my gaming channel, so you can check that out over there. But so there's some people who are mad about Sephiroth getting in. Look, I'm not saying Tifa ain't raw. I'm not saying I don't like Tifa. I like Tifa. I do. But this is how I picture it. You got Link and Zelda. You
Mm-hmm.
would not skip Ganondorf to put Impa in.
Right. Right.
You just wouldn't. So you got Cloud. It only makes sense to put in the other iconic person from that. Matter of fact, Sephiroth is an iconic villain that got iconic villain status with the quickness, and he
Oh
only
yeah.
been in. He's only in Final Fantasy VII until they did Kingdom Hearts. He
Yeah.
was only in Final Fantasy VII, and
I don't think we have seen him since. No.
yeah. And on top of that, to be honest, Kefka was way more messed up than Sephiroth if we go by Final Fantasy, villain
Right.
standards. But I'm like, he just got the iconic status, so it only makes sense to have Cloud and Sephiroth. I'm not hating on the people who want Tifa in there. I'm not hating on them.
Right.
But understand that, dude, come on, man. What did you?
Sometimes sometimes you just got to do that first. Not saying that Tifa won't make it. It's
Yeah,
just or make it in a costume form. But
yeah,
she's not saying she won't make it. But I mean, like you said, it's kind of like if they gave you Ryu instead of giving you Ken, they gave you Chun Li. It's just yeah, she's right there on their level to me. Like a Chun Li is very famous as well, but you kind of have to get that rivalry or that duel out the way first. Like Cloud's been there for a minute. You got to get Sephiroth out the way. The same thing if who else does something like that to where they kind of have like their own battle. Let's say for example if they did bring Goku,
yeah.
you're not bringing Chi Chi before you're bringing or Piccolo before you bring Vegeta. It's just
You're
not
not.
happening. You got to put
Yeah,
those two first.
yeah,
That's just the thing. But I mean, like I said, this Tifa thing is a first for me. I'm not really in that space of Final Fantasy. Like I never heard anybody really going hard for Tifa outside of like your few fans of it here and there. I heard more Waluigi than I did, of course, Tifa. But
yeah,
but
yeah.
it is what it is. But I mean, like I said, Sakurai has given a lot. For me to complain about somebody that I want in not coming up is just selfish at this point.
Yeah.
It is like he's giving you way too much. He's giving you more than he should have, to be honest with you.
And I'm glad you said it because first of all, it was 70 what? It was 70 characters before the DLCs.
Yeah. hmm Yeah. Like think about that from it. There's not another roster that big, man. Like it's getting to the point to where this is about to turn into like a basketball game. Like it's such many
Yeah.
freaking players. And I don't even know how people find the time to try them all. Like I see OJ, doing his playthrough with every last one of them, getting them to like the
Now,
ultimate level. That's crazy.
here's what I did because I did take a break from it for about a good 3 or 4 months from like just trying to do all that stuff.
Right.
So what I did was I went back. I want to say probably around September and finished out the classic pass for everybody. I
Okay.
went on to finish that back out. But
Eesh.
now that I'm on the DLC, it's easier for me to do it now because I can just do it when it drops. I can do the
Yeah,
character path and the spirit table when it drops. But before, it was literally too much.
it
Now,
is.
that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing.
No.
But for me, it's just like y'all complaining. It really makes y'all sound ungrateful. For
Yeah.
real. Like,
It's just
I don't like. There's some stuff I feel they could add. Like me personally, I wouldn't mind it, but I'm not like, oh, they should have had this. Here. I'm like, look, personally, I would love for them to bring back Subspace Emissary because
yeah.
after seeing that trailer with Sephiroth, I'm like, God, that would have been tight if they could have brought back Subspace Emissary for this. Because that World of Light ain't it.
Yeah.
World of Light is not it.
Social media is going to always be your enemy in regards to that.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, that trailer though, that CG trailer, I'm like, dude, Cloud didn't even get a CG trailer.
Yeah.
And the way they did the CG, it was seamless from the kind of messed up little gameplay tidbits that they were doing, showing off, and going back into CG.
Right. hmm
So, and okay, Sakurai, look, we know you've seen Advent Children complete like 8,000 times, right? I'm like, there was a couple parts of that trailer was like, dude, this is straight up plagiarism.
Yeah. Pretty much. Straight from
and,
having children.
and it's apparent that Sakurai does not like the Mario Brothers.
Mark, like until somebody put the compilation together, I had to stop and think about. It. I was like, Mario really is catching like the bad end of the stick with this shit. Like, and Luigi too. Like, it's almost like because just like with Steve, he was trapped in there with the bomb,
Yeah,
blown up. With Ridley,
he got ran
stabbed.
through. Yeah,
Like, what did Mario do? Like, that's at this point, if the next 3D Mario game isn't violent, I'm confused because it's almost on like some Shadow the Hedgehog shit where they had him with the gun. Like, this is wild.
it's just funny because they recreated the scene where Sephiroth stabs Cloud and has him up in the air, but they do it with Mario
With those
and,
overalls.
Yeah, and it's like a fake out because it's a beautiful shot because they did it with a fake out, and the sword actually goes through the top of his own. It don't stab him, but it's just like, bro, what are you trying to say? So
Yes.
that was just funny to me. And they did release the next day. I want to say Friday. They released it. Sakurai's going to do his breakdown next Thursday. I think the 17th.
Yeah.
So I think we're getting Sephiroth before Christmas because every time on Christmas, there is hell on the servers of people trying to download stuff. So
Yeah.
we're probably going to get it before Christmas, if anything. I'm thinking either, knowing how Nintendo likes to do, it'll probably be the 17th.
Right.
Oh yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed that video. He's available now. So yeah.
And then dropping in. Next thing you know, you can't download anything else from that server for the day.
Yeah, so knowing them is probably gonna be something like that. But I am actually looking forward to playing as Sephiroth. I like the character, honestly. The question is, how are they gonna do Kirby? Because is Kirby gonna have that long flowing
got to.
serious?
Have to with the sword. Have to with one wing.
I'm like, this is gonna be funny how they make Kirby look, because I thought Kirby copying Bayonetta was funny. I'm looking forward to this.
That's always like the one thing that you look for is like, how are they gonna do Kirby?
Yeah.
Because I mean, like we talked about before, I think we were like, either this was the last show or either when we were talking about the whole Game Awards thing, and you look at how Sakurai really doesn't have to do what he does as far as detail goes. So where like Kirby could like, okay, Kirby sucked him up, now he has like firepower or he has a sword. Like you could really just keep it at that. But he goes to give him hair, maybe a costume. Yeah. Like he goes into the full detail, as into like, okay, you know, Kirby just sucks such and such up.
Yeah, like the whole, like when he sucks up Solid Snake and he has a goatee. Like what the hell? Like, the hell does he have a goatee for? Like yeah, so I think that's one of the things I like about the Kirby. I hate fighting Kirby because let's be honest, Kirby, they cheat for Kirby.
And that's why I use them, because I suck.
Yeah. So
him or either Meta Knight. Yeah.
Yeah, and Meta Knight is still broken. I don't care what nobody else is. But
they broken. ESP wins.
Yeah. But, it's just funny seeing like all the copy stuff that every time there's a new character and the way they do the copy. They didn't show that in the trailer. Usually they show a copy. Oh, but I'm guessing they're saving that for like Thursday. So,
more than likely. Yeah.
But okay, so overall, there was a lot of good. I would say there was a lot of things that I didn't see coming for this time. For some reason, this Game Awards did not regurgitate. Again, I guess because we didn't have E3, they didn't regurgitate same trailers from E3 and Tokyo Game Show. Right. So we actually got to see some cool stuff. We got a cool trailer for Nier Replicant. We got a cool trailer for Century Age of Ashes. That wasn't bad. Got a Perfect Dark world premiere trailer. And I want to get your thoughts on the Perfect Dark thing. So Microsoft Friday put out a little like the director's deep dive video, and the team behind it said, because it's not Rare, it's another team, and they are saying that they can't get caught up in the past. And I'm like, oh god, they finna try to make something new. This shit ain't gonna work. Because that's what they did with freaking Zero. Right. And I'm like, dude, you gotta, unless you're remaking this, because they didn't confirm whether this is a remake or a remaster or a whole new thing.
I think it's a reboot.
Yeah. Unless you're doing that, you can't not go by the story beats that was in that original N64 game. Right. Because they set it up to keep going. Like Rare left them a good spot at the first one. So I'm a little concerned. I am a Perfect Dark fan, so I'm hoping that this game is going to be good. I'm hoping it's going to be because I said this should have been like a launch title, especially if you know Halo was having issues with the multiplayer and stuff like that. If you knew it was having that, then you should have had another one of your exclusives ready to go, in my opinion.
I don't think they got nothing. That's like the reality.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. They made all this big hoopla over the last 4 or 5 years by all these studios they bought, and I'm like, this is like 3-4 years ago, and ain't nobody have nothing ready to go.
I mean, if you look at
bad look. That's a real bad look.
The only reason why I give Xbox a pass in regards to this is because we went through the generation of PS3. Yeah. Because as much as people like to rave and rant about, PlayStation always winning and stuff like that, if you look at it, PS2 main claim to fame were third-party games.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't really start purchasing studios and start getting those really good exclusives until towards the middle or end of PS3. And I think that's kind of what Xbox is doing now, because not saying that they didn't take things serious, it's just they didn't have any studios to do anything great. They just rode on Forza, Halo, and Gears. That was their top three, and they thought they was going to ride on top three.
And it doesn't work like that.
And it doesn't. Like, Nintendo's about the only ones that can pull that off. But even then, they don't try to pull it off. But looking at this, to where, like, yeah, they had a few studios for like 2 or 3 years now. Honestly, I didn't expect any of this to be out until damn near 2023 for real. Because I didn't think the console was going to come out this year.
Well, my whole thing was they should have had something exclusive,
true,
ready to go. I'm like, even if you had to put it on Xbox One and because there's been times where companies had done that too, where they have stuff on PS3 or PS4. If you had to have it on both, fine, but you need to have something that can't nobody else buy anywhere else when your machine drops, when your console drops.
Now, does it have to be AAA, or can it be anything?
Well, you would want at least one quote unquote AAA, but they, from what I understand, they don't even have that. So
yeah, I mean they don't. I mean they kind of did like a rehash of Gears. Whether you're talking about the DLC, well, not even DLC, but you're talking about like different costumes and the online play and stuff like that, to where they really spruced it up. And then I think Ori fell close enough to where you can kind of call that as their exclusive launch game, but it came out beforehand. Yeah. But I mean, either way, yeah, you're right. I mean, they should have came out with like a banger, but I don't know any other console outside the Switch. Well, excuse me, outside of Nintendo that really drops with like a huge exclusive. Yeah. Because I mean, you have Breath of the Wild with the Switch. You talk about Mario 64 with the Nintendo 64. Twilight Princess in regards to the GameCube. Not GameCube, my bad. But Wii. The Wii. Yeah. I don't remember what it was with the GameCube, because I wouldn't even say Luigi's Mansion.
It was actually Melee. It was Melee.
Melee? Okay, yeah, because I remember Luigi's Mansion being around there. Yeah. But even then,
I want to say it was Melee and Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
Both of those two dropped like in the first 2 months.
Right. Now, granted, like I said, Luigi's Mansion didn't get the attention it deserved, but it was definitely like a claim to fame game, like to release at a launch. So even when I look at them and you talk about Halo as far as Xbox, they were trying to make it a big deal this time. And so, I mean, I feel like Halo, it really would have allowed them to push a lot of those games back, because Halo would have set for a minute. I mean, especially when you talk about multiplayer and you going through a campaign, it would have been there for a while, and you would have been okay with waiting. But like you said, and like most people say, they put a lot of their eggs in one basket, which is never a good idea. But I guess, but I mean, I think they should have shown up with something. But I mean, if you don't have that big of a following and you're trying to bring new people in, they kind of got something new. And Gears of 5 being up-res and all that other stuff. But
and to be honest, the whole Miles Morales Spider-Man thing was really an expansion from Spider-Man. Right. So you can't really count that.
Can't count it.
That's what Sony did. Sony was like, oh, it's a brand new game.
Yeah, because I mean, Xbox could have did the same thing with Gears. Could have did the same exact thing. And then when you talk about Dark Souls, it was on PS3. It just got cleaned up. They could have done that too. I mean, but honestly, Sony just, I don't know. They do it a lot, and I mean, they know their fan base. They know they'll eat it up. That's just how it works. Xbox is learning.
Unfortunately, that is. But I mean, as far as the whole Perfect Dark thing, I'm looking forward to it. Now, we did get some weird trailers, and I'm going over the trailer part first before we go into like the musical guests and how much I hate Jeff Keighley. So before we get into that portion of the review, so they had like a couple of good ones. The Dragon Age one, thank you, EA. You're 3 years too late, but yeah, thank you. The funny one though, and we remarked on this one when we had our little I guess we call it a tripping out session. That Ark trailer with clear Vin Diesel on it. I'm like, bruh.
And
I was
from my
like,
understanding, he's not even gonna be anything in the game. So why was he even on the trailer?
I'm sitting up here looking at it. I'm like, this is the Fast and the Furious Jurassic Park crossover we always wanted.
Yeah, like I said, with Flintstone cars, the whole
Yeah.
yeah. If they don't do that, I'll be upset. Like,
I'm like, at some point, I was still waiting for Ludacris and I was like, dude, it's dude. I'm waiting for him to say it's all about family because that's all he was around the whole time. The whole trailer is basically him trying to save his family. Now, there's a couple shots in that trailer that was jacked up with the Tyrannosaurus Rex just decided he was hungry.
With that lovely looking blood they had.
Oh yeah, the blood was as bad as it was on 300. The second 300 movie where it was just like, okay, dude, y'all need to chill out with the CG blood because it don't look. It looks like it looks like watered down ketchup.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah, it looks bad. But I thought it was funny. I didn't know it was for Ark. I didn't until they said it. And then right after that, they was talking about an Ark animated series. I'm like, I didn't think Ark was that good of a game series to get a full on animation.
I think Ark could be good if it ran properly. But
there's that.
It doesn't. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody's playing the shit. I mean, because enough for them to bring it to the Switch and be bold enough to do it. Like somebody's playing it.
Yeah, I mean, not me, but yeah. So yeah, it's just one of those. We did get the Horizon 4 Cyberpunk trailer where they showed their little crossover. Not bad. I mean, nothing too crazy. The Warhammer Dark Tide, saw that coming a mile away. What's the other one that I saw that I thought was really interesting? Ghosts and Goblins is coming back, and it looked like Ghosts and Goblins, and it actually got a release date of February 25th of next year. I'm like, okay, so
all I felt was anxiety the moment I saw that game.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is going. And I'm wondering how modern players are gonna play this because that was one of those games where it was like Contra.
Yeah.
You broke your controller.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they're gonna have like an easy mode for people to be able to get through. But
unless they want a controversy on their hands, I don't think they should do it. Because
I mean, if you have a regular mode for us, the people that's into sadomasochism, and and the people and the modern people that can't that want to like get through it, I mean, you could do that.
I still wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. And the only reason why I say not to do it is because of the reputation behind it. Like, if this was one of those games that they had that option back then, cool, by all means. But that's just like you bringing Contra. Well, they did, but it looked awful. But if you brought Contra in its truest form like you did now with this game and said, hey, look, we're going to give it easy mode, that throws it off. Because Contra is known for it being hard and the Contra code. Those are the two main things it's known for.
Yeah, they didn't put that Contra code in that last one, which kind of pissed me off.
See? My point exactly. So
no, because I needed that to win. I needed it in my life. No,
and that's my thing. Like, to me, it's all about the essence of, if you're not creating anything brand new and you're kind of trying to touch a nostalgic feel, leave it alone.
Yeah,
leave it alone.
But to be honest, the trailer looks great. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, go on Nintendo's YouTube channel. It's on there. It looks great. I'm like, dude, I'm even thinking about picking it up, knowing I'm gonna have a headache by the time I get to the second level.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, but it's one of those games that was fun, but like it was evil at the same time because the developers clearly don't like people. So
no, not at all.
So especially they don't like kids. How they did when I was 8.
Nah. Was that because I can't remember because I know Contra was. This wasn't in arcades at all, was it?
Nope.
Okay, because I know that used to be a thing. Like, hey, we're trying to make it last long as possible, so let's make it super difficult so they can keep putting money in the machine.
Now, Now
back
I
then.
don't know if it was out in Japan, but I don't remember seeing it
Right.
over here. Now it
Okay.
might have been overseas, but I don't remember the the arcades that I went to. I don't ever remember seeing Ghosts and Goblins in there.
Me either.
Now I do remember seeing TMNT, the NES one, the one that was sent broken. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
Contra. Now nobody played. And once TMNT 2 came out, nobody played
Hmm.
that other one. They all
Okay.
played the second one, the arcade one where you had to fight Rocksteady first save April out that
Yeah.
burning building.
Hmm.
They need to bring that back. So that one needs a HD remake. Um,
It's
but
like the
yeah,
stuff that makes sense. They won't do it. I don't
yeah.
get it.
But I think it's a licensing thing at this point because they didn't try like two Ninja Turtle games. The one that I actually like is Mutants in Manhattan, the one that Platinum
Yeah.
Studios did.
Right.
But that other one they did, Out of the Shadows, that was hard. That was atrocious.
So
So
who owns the rights to Ninja
I
Turtle?
don't know. I
Because
don't know
would it
because
be
I
Nickelodeon?
know I know Nickelodeon owns the TV
Right.
and animation rights. I don't know if they own game rights too. I don't know
Oh, okay.
because I thought it was Activision at one point.
It used to be, yeah.
Yeah, but we know how Activision does.
Bro, I'm not even get on with
Yeah,
Activision. Nah.
yeah, we ain't talk about them. But Evil Dead actually had a game trailer with Ash, and that game actually coming to everything.
Yeah,
Um,
which surprised me.
that surprised me too. The Monster Hunter World got a new trailer demo, the one for
Yeah.
the Switch, which
Wow.
which they did say that we are getting a demo in January. I will
Yep.
be on that demo, so
Yep.
yeah, I like the Monster Hunter universe, especially when you get like a good crew together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will be playing that. Trust me.
That
Um,
that might be the first one I actually go online with because usually I ride solo dolo with Monster Hunter. But when you were talking about doing the whole crew thing like you had done before, I was like, man, I could never find people to play Monster Hunter. My group of friends are your typical Call of Duty sports players. So Monster Hunter, they're like, I don't know what that is. I'm like, all right, forget it.
well, now you got a crew.
Yeah, I'm about to say I need to, and I'll make time to be a part of that.
So, if it's anything like I think it's gonna be, I think his game's gonna be great. So I am personally looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Scarlet Nexus actually got a new trailer, which I'm looking forward to that little anime game from Bandai Namco.
I can't. Something's missing from it. Because at first I got the vibes of kind of like God Eater,
Uh huh.
but every time I see it, I'm like it's in my lane, but I don't want to touch it. I don't know.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of God Eater mixed with Astral Chain.
Yeah, yeah,
But not done by Platinum Studios. Um,
yeah.
but I want to try it out because it looks interesting to me.
Hmm.
And like you know, if you follow me, you know I love anime, so
Hmm.
I'm willing to give that a shot. And Bandai Namco usually don't f up the anime stuff,
Usually,
usually. So
usually.
yeah, we also found out that Master Chief is coming in Fortnite. So does that mean the Samus rumor is true? Please God no. Please God no. God,
Unfortunately.
God damn it. Oh, so
I got a
yeah,
feeling. I mean, because you think about it, that Fortnite Switch constantly sells out around Christmas time.
oh yeah, yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah. I
Yeah, you
mean,
have to.
to be honest, I mean, Fortnite is perfect on the Switch because it's perfect for on the go.
Yeah, perfect.
It's perfect for on the go, and now that you can do your whole cross save stuff like that, man, people, yeah, it's too, it, it makes too much sense. I'm just like, okay, Master Chief, okay, Samus, at least Samus will be in something because that's gonna be one of my problems with. But then again, I'm gonna bring this up in a little bit, but I just want to say, well, let me talk about this last trailer first. Ruin King 2021. They got a new trailer for that
Hmm.
League of Legends story game. I'm probably gonna pick that up. I love
Yeah.
lore. I don't really care for League of Legends like that, but I do
Nah.
like Airship Syndicate. I like the studio. I'm a big fan of Joe Madureira and his art, so
Hmm.
I'm probably gonna pick that up because I think that game actually comes out in February or March as well. So
Right.
yeah, I'm looking forward. Now there were a whole lot of trailers. I didn't go over all of them just because it was way too many.
Way too
But
many.
yeah, but there were some that were good. There were some that weren't. Leave a comment. Let us know what your favorite trailer was that released there, and what game are you looking forward to. Now, If you don't know who was going to win Game of the Year and majority of the other awards, you haven't been watching the Game Awards for the last 2 years. You knew it was going to be Last of Us. I don't even know why we even showed up for this. Last of Us was in damn near every category, just like Death Stranding was last year.
Yep.
But this year, there was no fake out. See, Jeff Keighley wasn't gonna put up with y'all counting him. He wasn't gonna fold to y'all like he did last year. See, last year he folded to y'all and denied his best friend getting that freaking Game of the Year award for his game that he worked hard on. So this year, he said, "To hell with that! I'm giving it to freaking Neil Druckmann and The Last of Us." I mean, hey, dude, if you like that game, hey, kudos to you. I just let's be honest. Everybody knew that was gonna win. All right.
Yeah.
I like Ghost of Tsushima, but
I mean, because for me, I haven't played Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, I haven't either. I haven't played 2. I played the first one and I was done.
Right. That's the same thing with me. Now, I did my due diligence after we got off, and between yesterday and today, I've watched somebody play through it straight. 20 hours. I watched them play through it straight. And to be honest, it's like if you don't have that story aspect in the game, it's just kind of like your, rinse, repeat situation. Like, I get it. It's a lot of stabbing. It's a lot of hiding. It's a lot. I mean, and it's a lot of gunplay. I mean, it's a typical game. But the story is interesting. And I feel like with something like that, I would be more inclined to watch that as a movie opposed to it being a game. So if you look at it to where these game awards and even Sony, it seems like everybody's trying to gear to that whole movie aspect within these video games instead of like trying to really have to spend that money to put stuff on film. This is kind of like the cheaper way out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and
that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, because when I look at Ghost, I look at Animal Crossing, you look at Hades. What else was up there with? Is that it?
I think that was it. Yeah, I think that was it.
Okay.
Game of the Year. Yeah, I think that was it.
Now, I didn't think Hades was going to win it. Even though Hades is a great game, I don't think it's a game of the year situation.
Yeah, I don't. Look, I love Hades. Hades is one of my favorite games
Yeah.
of the year, honestly. But it's a roguelike. There ain't no way a roguelike should not beat Ghost of Tsushima.
No, not even close.
Not even close.
When I look at Animal Crossing, wow,
it's Nintendo.
It should have won.
Yeah.
I give it 2 nicks. I give it the Society's nick, and I give it my personal one. Society's nick is Nintendo.
Yep.
My personal nick is it's not a game you can beat. So to me, I feel like that's kind of one of those things that you look at. What was the game like from beginning to end? It's an evergreen game. It's forever going. It can't necessarily be beat. So can you truly identify it as kind of like a game per se? So I think that's where it falls out. So it kind of just leaves Ghost and Last of Us.
Yeah. And I played Ghost.
Right.
I love Ghost. Ghost is awesome. But like you said, going back and looking, because I looked at some gameplay of Last of Us, it just like, dude, it's clear. Now, to be fair, they did get greenlit for HBO, so The Last of Us is getting the show.
They need to.
So I'm sitting here looking. I'm like, so, why is this And then the controversy behind everything with the crunch, the majority of the team leaving because of the inside shenanigans that was going on, and for them to say, what they were saying about the team, I didn't like because it felt fake. Knowing what happened, it felt fake. Druckmann and that other dude coming out saying what they were saying.
Right.
I just think that honestly, it probably should have went to Ghost, but that's just my opinion. I think Ghost is better, but I can't say I didn't play it. I watched somebody else play it.
Right.
So,
exactly.
But I played Ghost. I enjoyed Ghost.
Right.
So I thought Ghost had an awesome story. I think it's a story that they wanted to tell. Because I feel like after hearing about the controversy that happened at Naughty Dog and stuff, I felt like the original story got axed in order to meet certain criteria for certain people, and that's why they had all these issues. And I'm like, if that's not the original writer's vision, then I don't think that's just my feeling. I don't think that's right. but that's just my opinion on
Right.
it. So I'm
Well,
pretty sure people in the comments now are telling me to go F myself. So
be all right. I
whatever,
mean, it
it
was a
is what
great
it is.
audition tape for this HBO then, because I
Yeah,
mean, if they got if they got a thing coming for HBO, it's a great
yeah,
audition tape.
yeah.
Because
Now
kind
my
of like
only
their
problem
friend.
is, yeah, my only problem is, so since I got it, since me and my good buddy Butterworthy got in trouble when we reviewed Last of Us, the first one, because we called out the fact that it was The Road mixed with The Walking Dead.
Oh
So,
yeah,
so HBO, are y'all gonna copy The Walking Dead? Because if you copy The Walking Dead, you ain't gonna last a season. People are tired of Walking Dead right
you
now.
kind of have to. I mean, when you look
Yeah,
at Last of Us, is Walking Dead.
like I said, you gonna have to change something up though, because like people are already tired of The Walking Dead, and you ain't got Michonne and Daryl to save you.
Right, because I mean, they milking the hell out of Walking Dead.
Yeah,
But I mean, because it should have been ended.
yeah.
But
The
the thing
comic is
is,
done. The comic is done.
yeah,
The
the
comic
comic's
been
done.
done for like a year and a half now.
But the thing is, I mean, when you look at when everybody was going into that whole zombie phase, the whole
Yeah,
apocalyptic nonsense,
yeah,
there's only so much you can do with a series. So
yeah,
I mean, when you look at it from a game standpoint, okay, it's different because you can play it out. But when you're talking about a TV series to where people, if they get attached, they're gonna look for more. And
hmm
like you said, Walking Dead, it wasn't like some fly by the night situation. Walking Dead was popular. Like people broke their necks to watch Walking Dead.
hmm
Like stayed up on it, getting pissed at people for spoiling it on Instagram, like everything.
yeah.
So when you bring out Last of Us, from what I played on Last of Us and what you've seen on Last of Us Part Two, there's no way that you
Yeah.
can't copy Walking Dead.
Yeah, but that's my only thing. Like, you gonna have to find some kind of way to like make it different in yours, because like I said, that first game was straight up Walking Dead in the road. I'm like, this ain't no. And people were like, oh, this is, I've never seen anything like this. Well, I read books, so I read the road and I watched
Right,
Walking Dead. So,
right,
and I'm a comic book kid, so I've also read the Walking Dead comic book. So I'm like,
right. Yeah.
yeah, this is damn near plagiarism. But
Because I mean,
but
Microsoft is getting ready to run into that same issue when you talk about
yeah,
what is it? Daggone State of Decay.
yeah, State of
State
Decay,
of
yeah,
Decay 3. I mean the only difference is State of Decay 3 is a situation to where like you're really like building up uh living areas, building the team and doing everything else. So they actually make it more in depth, like Walking Dead is. But all of this stuff is under the
same.
umbrella of Walking Dead. You can't. There's no other way because they did such a great job with the show. There's nothing else you can do with it.
There's a funny meme that came out back in 2015 where they showed like all these other post-apocalyptic world zombies like Metro and stuff like that,
Hmm.
and they said this is what other people view the end of the world, and then they showed Splatoon and like this is what happens when you add Nintendo to it. So I'm like, the funny thing, the reason why I brought that up is because I think it's time for like, if you're gonna do something post-apocalyptic, you need to do something like Enslaved Odyssey to the West, where it's different, where like it doesn't look gray and black and and just dreary, where it looks colorful and you do so. Because Enslaved Odyssey to the West was a post-apocalyptic world, but it
Yeah.
looked vibrant. Hell,
Yeah. Hmm.
The Darksiders series, Darksiders 1 and 2,
Hmm.
they didn't look just gray and drab. Like they had different aspects of a post-apocalyptic world. So I think that's one of the things that kind of turns me off to those types of games. That's
Yeah.
why like even the what was it, Back for Blood that they showed it.
That's my Blood for Dead or whatever
Yeah,
the hell that was called. Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, man, I ain't playing this bullshit because it's the same
It's
thing.
it's the same thing. It's one of those things to where it makes you question, like what is the mentality of the people making the game and what are they gearing for? Because it's literally the same thing over and over again. It's about apocalyptic shooting, gray, drab, like end of the world type nonsense. Like what are y'all thinking about? Like y'all can't think of a single happy situation to make a game about?
Yeah, like
Are y'all depressed? Like come on, like it to me it's too much at this point.
yeah.
Way too much. Like we have too many games like this.
Yeah,
Way
there
too
needs
many.
to be some more balance to it. Like
Has
there
to
really
be.
does need some be some more, in my opinion.
That's why
But
I was excited about Rage 2 because Rage
yeah,
2 at least had like some color to it.
yeah, and they actually was like, look, we understand. We're gonna make you see that this is not like that. We
Yeah,
got monsters in it, but it's gonna be something crazy. Them first two trailers were hilariously colorful.
right.
So, and I understand that, but that, I mean, I guess I just got to that point where I'm just like, you know what? I'm over the whole zombie thing.
Right.
I'm burnt out on it.
Burnt out.
So yeah, I'm not looking forward to jumping in there. Now I've heard like some people actually enjoyed the whole Last of Us story. Hey, if you do, hey, I'm not knocking you for that. I'm really not. I'm not. I'm making jokes, but I'm not denying that. You know, if people love the game, I'm not gonna. Get mad. Dude, I love Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Okay, so Zelda head. So I mean, I'm not gonna hate on somebody for liking the story. I just don't think that if you got that many issues going on, especially since everybody loves to be like woke and concerned about everybody else, and you giving it to these people, and you know this ain't made up stuff. This is stuff coming from who actually worked there.
Right.
And like these things happened. This happened. This happened, and you reward them for that. Is it really? You know, I mean,
people don't care.
Yeah, but they don't care if there's something they like. If something they don't, boy, that's a whole different story.
Exactly.
But so now this year, I remember me and Andre made a point on one of our previous episodes of the Wingin podcast that like if they're gonna do something at the Game Awards, they need to have like musical guests that do gaming music. I will give it to Keely this year. He did that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He did that. I mean, do more of that. I don't need.
You're giving Keely credit?
Yeah, I got to. I got to on this one. I have to because what it was. I think it was last year. Who was Blink 182?
Yep.
One of them years with Blink 182. The only one I liked was I think it was like 2016 when they had Imagine Dragons and Koji Kondo on stage together. And Koji Kondo did that piano riff while they did I think I forgot the name of the song they did. That worked because they put the breath of Legend of Zelda behind it.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, that worked, but I mean, it's a Game Awards. It's not the VMAs.
It starts to blend a little bit, especially when you start tying into the whole sports crowd, because that's strictly all licensed.
Yeah, and here's the thing that some of the presenters, I know you got to get I know you're trying to get popular people. I know you're trying to get popular people to be a part of your award show. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get popular people who actively hate your culture.
Right. Yeah.
You went. This the second time you done did this, Keely, where you went and got somebody that's popular that hates geek, nerd, and gaming culture. Why did you do that?
You need to get that money.
I'm like, look, get it from somebody else. Ask Chris Evans to do it. Hell, ask Chris Evans to do it. Chris Evans would have. You got Gal Gadot. Ask Chris Evans.
Yeah.
He's nice. Hell. So I mean, like, but yeah, but he went and got two people that like, bro, they don't like the culture. Like, why would you even? I'm like, nah, you can stay at home, bro. Yeah. I don't even want you to get on Zoom. You ain't got to get on Zoom for this. Go do what you do. Like, I don't need you for this. No. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I have a problem with because there's one person in particular, and y'all probably already know who it is. I will not say he who shall not be named with the messed up hairline, but
he's fixing it.
No, I don't know how he gonna fix it, but the thing is, I can't stand him because he doesn't like. He's one of those people that if you can't tell he's shady, you're horrible with people because he's shady. And I'll leave it at that. That's the best thing I can say about him. But yeah, I get it. I will say this: it did go by. It felt like it went by a little bit quicker than last year. Because last year it felt like that game was drug on forever. Last year.
Crazy thing about it is it was shorter and it still felt long.
Yeah, it was short.
But
it just felt shorter because I remember last year it went because it started at like 9:00. It was 12:30 when me, Andre, and Shadow got finished, and we had a couple people coming in and out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, what the hell? Why is it still going on? Mm-hmm. Another thing that I didn't like is let me holler at you, Nintendo. Let me holler at you, folks. Look, I know y'all got y'all issues with people and fans right now because fans are being stupid and there is Jeff Keighley, but
Yep.
uh, y'all could have brought something else other than freaking Smash. You know you can't bring one more thing. You know, I don't
What
think people
though?
would have got mad at you. I don't think people would have got mad at you, and you know what I'm talking about, Nintendo.
What do you think they would have brought?
All right,
I
I'm a
know
Metroid
what
fanboy
you
too. All right,
wanted.
I'm a Metroid fanboy too. All right, so now they they should have said something, but I do think that Nintendo probably is gonna have something in January, and that's why they ain't say nothing. Because
Right.
this is what happened last year. Last year they only brought like one thing, and then they had a direct in January that
Mm-hmm.
it was like a 30 or 40 minute direct where they just went through everything.
Yep.
So I mean, well, not January. I think it was like February. So I'm thinking they're gonna have something within the first quarter of next year.
Yeah, because they have to start talking about Mario,
Yeah.
which is supposed to be coming out
And
in February.
yeah, and supposedly the rumor has it there's something they're doing for the Zelda 35th, and
I mean, because what Zelda and
that's
Metroid
March.
35th. I mean, Zelda and Metroid anniversary next year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Zelda's 35th is in March, and I think Metroid should be around August, July or August, or
Yeah,
something
something
like
like
that.
that.
So I think they need to they need to say something. If it was me, I would do it in January, and I don't know if Doug Bowser don't like getting in front of. I don't know if he don't like doing directs, but you need to do something. You need to do something
Mm-hmm.
because 2021 is already going to be a packed year anyway because a lot of stuff got pushed out of
Yeah.
2020 into 2021. So I'm gonna need y'all to work with me in my budget.
He said my budget.
I'm gonna need you to work with me in my budget, okay? I'm gonna put some money on I'm gonna put some money on eShop. I'm gonna need you to work with me in my budget,
Good luck
please,
with that, because they surely ain't gonna
please.
care next year. Because I mean, when
Oh,
you think about how much possibly got pushed back and what
oh
was already
yeah.
supposed to be there,
Because
yeah,
I'm thinking No More Heroes for that came out this year. I'm thinking like I think No More Heroes and Bravely Default was supposed to come out this summer, but
yep,
because the
mm-hmm,
pandemic got pushed back, probably Monster Hunter probably was supposed to come out this year and got pushed back.
yep.
So I mean, it's probably gonna be, and I'm still thinking that Breath of the Wild, either Breath of the Wild or something in Metroid is coming out next year.
Yeah, I think I got a feeling this is about to be 2017 part two.
Yeah, where it's like 6, 7 games come out, and you're like,
Right. I ain't got it, Chief. Like,
yeah, I ain't got it, bro. I'll get you 2022, bro.
that's just how it go. Because I mean, truth be told, I mean, expecting Zelda for sure. Then of course you're expecting some type of anniversary collection edition
Yeah,
with that. Because I think what the only thing that hasn't been redone is what Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword, but I don't think they're doing that one.
I don't.
Honestly, I think what they're gonna do, to be honest, I think they're gonna redo Ocarina for Switch. I think they're gonna redo Ocarina for Switch.
You think they're gonna touch it up or no?
I think they're gonna put it in the Breath of the Wild engine, but
I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they're gonna
I
do it
think
like
they
they
are.
did Mario.
Well, no, because if they do that because they got the feedback from that and people blistered them for that. So if they do that, they'll probably do the 3DS version because they could do the
Right.
3DS version.
Yeah.
Because that's what most people said. Like, if you were gonna do this, just get the Mario 64 DS version and
Yeah.
put it on there.
Right.
So either they're gonna do that or they're gonna drop it in something else. Because they already got a team that does that. That's Grizo. Grizo does that all the time.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
they got a team that can do it and do it pretty quick. So
Yeah.
I don't see them that being an issue. Um, I think Skyward Sword is not getting remade just because. Look,
Oh, Wiimote
I
thing.
yeah, the problem is as much as I like the Joy Cons, they are not good for
They're not
that.
even close.
Yeah, so the Joy Cons are good for certain things.
Right.
That ain't one of them.
Yep.
So I think they'll probably just either put the Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, and probably Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask is probably gonna be in that. That's what I'm
Okay.
thinking.
Okay.
Um, Metroid, I think that we're gonna. That's when they're gonna release that Prime trilogy. and HD, I think that's when they're gonna do that.
Because I mean, it's been rumored for so long. It's got to be true. It's
Yeah,
got to be. So I mean, and it makes sense. I mean, you give people the trilogy. I would say. I
and you
think we
drop
would.
4 in holiday. You drop four in
Right,
holiday.
because I think we'll know about the trilogy. If we hear about the trilogy, then that means the game is pretty close to damn near done.
Yeah.
Because that's the same thing that they did that they wanted to do with Bayonetta. They wanted to give you 1 and 2 in that package, and then
And
give
then
you
three.
3, but then 3 disappeared off the face of the earth somewhere. So
Well, I did. Thankfully, I'm not blocked by Kamiya.
me
Um,
either.
so, but he did say it's progressing along. I think what happened was, I think that was another one that's supposed to came out this year,
Yeah,
and COVID they had to push it back. So that might drop next year too. But the thing is, I don't know if you're Nintendo, what do you do? Because you don't want to cannibalize yourself. So do you drop Bayonetta in the summer, or do you drop it in the first part of the year because you know you got Breath of the Wild coming, and you may or may not have Metroid Prime? Because I told people when they first did the whole, well, Metroid Prime had to start from scratch. I'm like, they didn't get rid of the assets. The assets are
right,
still there. And Retro said they already had a story already ready to go.
right.
So it
Hmm.
wasn't like they were starting from literal
From
scratch.
scratch, yeah.
Yeah.
And
They
just
were
because
just
they told you they start from scratch doesn't mean that's when they started from scratch.
Yeah, because I remember reading that because right when they did that and they announced that Retro was doing it, Retro Studios sent out a statement like, we already had a story ready to go anyway. So
Right.
basically, and then with the rate of people they've been hiring,
Mm-hmm.
they make those announcements after they already been working.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just interested in seeing what they're gonna do. So if I'm Nintendo, I'm either dropping Breath of the Wild in the first of the year and Metroid at holiday, or I'm flopping it. But I think Metroid's going to be in the holiday, so you could get out Metroid Prime trilogy HD in the summertime, like they did with like No More Heroes. They did drop No More Heroes 1 and 2 to get ready for 3.
I got this strange feeling, and this is just me. Because they've been talking about for the longest, well, not Nintendo, but everybody else has been talking about for the longest that revision that's supposed to be coming next year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we'll be on what year? Year 4, year 5 with the
Year
Switch
4 in March. It'll be
in
year 4 in
March.
March. Yeah,
Um,
and
honestly,
Nintendo already said they plan on going to 2023 with the Switch
right,
in its form as it is now.
right. So this is just me. Um, they're talking about doing it within this form. I think as far as this whole hybrid thing or close to it, I think it'll still carry on with the next one. But I got a feeling, I hate to say it, but that may be when they're moving Metroid 2, and in replacement of it, we'll be seeing the trilogy, yes. But then I
And
think they're
probably a
going to
2D
take the 2D,
and
yeah,
do the
Metroid,
2D.
yeah. Because I mean,
And
it would work either way. It's
yeah,
just
it'll
people
work
be
either way.
pissy, but Metroid will probably get the Mario and the Zelda effect, to where, like we said, Twilight Princess was from GameCube to Wii U. Not Mario, but the Zelda effect, pretty much.
Yeah, Zelda effect, yeah.
So Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild. It'll
Yeah.
probably be on both Switch and whatever they call this next one. And you'll still have Metroid, but just the 2D form, which was a great game if they do Samus
Hell,
Returns.
other M and Samus Returns was awesome.
Yeah,
So,
it's just people didn't have 3D yet. Well, they had them, but the people that wanted to play it didn't have 3DSs still.
yeah,
So that was the problem. Yeah.
yeah. And honestly, I mean, I don't mind it, especially if they're tackling the side story, because
Yeah. Hmm.
to me, the one of the things that I like about Metroid and Zelda is the way they got their lore spread out. You can take the story, you can do a game for anything.
Right. Yep.
So it doesn't. It's not like you're stuck on do. It's not like Halo where you're stuck in only telling this one path.
Right.
Like Metroid, you can talk about the Chozo. You can do a game just talking about the Chozo. You
Right.
can do a game talking about when she was young and just do something with the only thing though I would like for them to do is give Team Ninja one more shot, because Other M was not a bad
It
game.
wasn't.
And I hate that people try to pretend like it was to try to get cool points. But I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, the game was actually fun. Yeah, did I like the voice actress they had for it? No, but she was reading lines. And
Yeah.
the funny thing about it was, I that's why I'm glad Nintendo don't let Link talk, because if you're playing the game and you're by yourself most of the game, who are you talking to?
Right. Yep.
Yourself. Now, the way they can get past that is to do like a Afro Samurai Ninja thing, give her like an AI that talks back to her, or
Right.
be
Yep.
comedic. They can do
Hmm.
that. But other than that, if they don't do that, guess what? She gonna be talking to herself.
Right. Because like I said, other M and Star Fox Adventure catch the most
Most
hell.
hell. And they were two of the best
Yeah.
games to play. Like I still want them to go back to Star Fox Adventures. That was
Yeah.
fun.
That was fun. Yeah, it really
That was fun.
was.
Now the main problem with that was they sacrificed the flight aspect
Right.
for the adventure. But if you bring that back and actually put a decent flight mechanic in it,
Hmm.
I don't think anybody be mad at that.
No, they won't.
Not really.
I mean,
Um,
they'll bitch about it in the beginning, and then they'll change it up. But
they'll bitch about it and it'll be the fastest selling game of that year.
that's how it works.
Yeah.
I swear, if people love your game, you're not gonna sell that well. If it's a lot of controversy around it, shoot the roof.
Yeah.
Controversy sells.
That's something like I don't understand. I don't understand people, but yeah, I don't understand people. But I think that's gonna do it for this episode of the
Oh, that's
Winging
it
It
already.
podcast. Yeah, it's an hour. We hit an hour, so
Hey.
yeah. Um, so that's gonna do it for this episode. Overall, I didn't love or hate the Game Awards. It's was it good? No, not really. Was it bad? No, not really. It was just to
Yeah,
me. Anyway,
exactly.
it was just okay. We get this year though. I had to give them credit, but I think the reason why I'm giving them credit is because we didn't have an actual E3 or a Tokyo Game Show or any
Right.
of the other games where they would be dropping all these different trailers.
Right.
Because of that, we actually truly got world premieres. Where
Yep.
in past years they threw world premiere on the trailer we got at E3 or Tokyo Game Show.
Right.
Which, if you follow the gaming world, you're like, dude, this is the same trailer I've seen already. This is not a
Hmm.
world premiere. But what are your overall thoughts on the Game Awards this year?
I could have done without it either way. I mean, honestly, it didn't do anything but give people more things to argue about
Yeah,
on Twitch. It kind of like took some of the digital foundry space with the whole frame rate stuff. Now that people are going back and forth about how bad Cyberpunk either runs or does not run, so it just gives people other things to argue about. I mean, did it affect my Twitter feed? Yeah, it did. It's just a bunch
oh
of
yeah,
grown ass men crying at this point. But they were already doing it, like I said, with Cyberpunk. But to me, I don't pay attention to the awards anymore outside of us watching it because it really doesn't do anything. I mean, it is not really awarding the games I think deserve it. And it all comes down to so many games coming out. I think it's only so much you can touch because if a game doesn't get a lot of attention, that's a problem. And I feel like the Game Awards should be that one place that you see a game win an award that you didn't know anything about, and then therefore attention goes to it, and then that game blows up. And I think that's what the awards would be big for. But it seems like if the game wasn't already in the eyes of the people, it's not here.
yeah,
So I think that is inherently the biggest issue with the awards. But like it's only been around for a while. I don't expect it to be great, and then it's damn near like the only one that's televised
yeah.
at this point.
Everything
So
else, everything else isn't like the
right,
other ones. Yeah, they don't get televised. You damn near don't know when they happen.
right. And the thing is, you can't count on the people to give you a true judgment because even with the voting, most people went out their way not to vote Last of Us 2. So
Yeah.
even though it still won damn near everything, they went out their way for it not to win. That's why I think the joystick awards, not joystick awards, what
It was
awards?
joystick. It was joystick.
It won joystick, but I'm talking about there was one where Ghost won.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh. I
cause
can't
was that?
remember the name of it.
Yeah,
It was on my Twitter feed, but yeah, I can't
right.
remember the name.
So I mean, to me, I think these award shows should be, yeah, you honor those that are really, really good games, but then at the same time bring some attention to, the actual games that people don't see. Like, because I think that's what a lot of people overlook because of rating systems. You got your YouTube presence that you follow. If they don't go outside the realm of what's already in the know, then you really won't find them. And I think that's what's making it hard for most of these indie studios or some of these actual good games that just get bad ratings.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, personally, I think they need to change like who gets to vote like who is their panel or whatever,
Right.
because it's the same 5 games should not be in damn near every category. I'm sorry, that's
Nah,
not how
it
this
shouldn't.
should work. I
No.
mean, there's no excuse for that. That this happened this year and it happened last year. You should not have these same 5 games in damn near all of your categories.
Yeah, yeah. Like I know
Because
somebody made a meme about it to where like Last of Us 2 won everything, but
yeah,
even like the esports
yeah.
were put.
But it's a funny meme, but it's kind of like, dude,
It's kind of true.
at this point, you're like, bruh, if I wouldn't have been surprised if Last of Us did show up in the esports category. Because to me, it seems like they're lazy about it. They're like, okay, look, man, we got to give them some, just copy and paste it and put it in there.
Right.
Like, no, dude,
Hmm.
actually look. If you want to do the Game Awards, then you actually need to go by your categories, do your categories some justice, and go buy them, and don't, because everything should not be in the same category. I'm sorry,
It
I'm just
shouldn't.
half
No.
of these games should not be in all these categories. Sorry.
Right. And I think some categories tend to fall off too, or either they're just in the pre-show, if I'm not
Or
mistaken.
or they just don't show up. They showed up one year and don't show up the next.
Right, right,
There's no
right.
consistency. That's the other thing.
Yeah, there's no
They
consistency
still
whatsoever.
have a consistency issue. But yeah, other than that, I mean, yeah, I'm glad that we actually get a Game Awards, but
Right,
this is one of those times where I'm like, you know what? I kind of wish that Spike would have never let it go and it would be back actually on TV,
right.
because um, I hate to say this, but I'm starting to think that Jeff Keighley may be a little biased,
Why would you say that?
just a tad,
Why?
just a tad.
Why? I don't see it at all.
Hey
I
Sony,
don't
can I
see
get
it.
it? Hey Sony, can I get some of those checks too?
I don't see it. I don't see the bias. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. So, but yeah, that is our show for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will have one more. Hold on. You know what? Before we get out of here, let me check my calendar right quick. Because we are coming up on Christmas, and I don't want to. I want to make sure we don't. I want to make sure we don't do anything on Christmas.
Right.
So let's see. Okay, so we'll have one more episode next week, and then we'll have the next 2 weeks off. We'll come back after the new year.
Okay.
So we'll have one more episode next week. We'll probably just do a 2020 in review. Oh God, that's not gonna be enough. I don't know if 2020 in review is gonna work. We'll try to make it work though. We'll try to make it work. But yeah, we'll try to do something to that effect, and then we'll have another 2 weeks off for the holidays and stuff. I'll probably more than likely probably do some live streaming just to have some stuff on the channel, because because of us taking a break and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And I'm not going home this year because I got to work, so I'll probably just do that um, for the time being, so we'll have some content up. But hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment. Let us know your overall thoughts on the Game Awards 2020 and your love for Jeff Keighley. And Jack, you got anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
Nah, just game, don't bitch, and have fun. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, people. So y'all know how I end this. Wakanda forever. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.
peace.